Well, welcome to part 2 of our Christmas cottage tour. Today we're going to look at my office. We're going to look at the back part of the house, notably the great room and the guest bedroom, and maybe answer some questions that you guys have had about the cottage, some of them recurring, but also some of them just because there's so many new subscribers and new viewers to the channel. So this is what I have alluded to as Santa's workshop, and this is the very last room that came together, and I'll be honest, it's still kind of coming together. After we finish shooting today, there's a bit more zhuzhing and straightening up and things that I want to do in here that I just haven't had time to do beforehand. But some things that I want to point out to you. Number one, if you are coming to the tour today, you will be able to buy one of my books, one of my journals, and also I think it might be fun for you to kind of see the inspiration board from where I got the ideas for some of my different Christmas decor touches, and I think that's kind of fun. But that needs a little bit more zhuzhing, but at least I have the felt ball garland on there, and I think it looks really sweet, as does the finished effect of the garland that Sweet Betsy and Leah put together to hang over the curtain rod. And I think it looks fun, and it looks, this is my room that is kind of, I guess, I'm thinking about the kids. I think it's fun. This is that wreath that I have showed you many times before that my son Jamie made for me in 5th grade with the sweet box that he decorated. They're all mostly little wooden characters. And I've got hidden because they're just in bloom, not in bloom right now, and so for now they're hidden until I bring them back out into the light. And that is my multiple pots of amaryllis from Color Blends that may be in bud like these are, but they're not yet in bloom like just this one that I have. They'll be coming into bloom a little bit later. But here are some why not try kind of things. So I thought, why not try just mulching this pot in some of this wooden garland, which kind of speaks to the garland and the kitty wooden toy vibe that I've got in other areas. And then I've just stuck some arborvitae in it. And Stuart, if you will just kind of rotate out the window, that is the source of all of my greenery right there, just outside the window. And so I've just plucked some different branches and fronds down. I like things that tell a story. So these little felt mice are doing the polka. The little gnome is there in charge of making sure that the amaryllis stands up and flies right. And then these other things over here, again, I'm going to rework this a little bit, but I've got the sweet candle that Leah brought me for Thanksgiving. I've got some more bottle brush trees. And by the way, this is on so many ways you can use candle holders. So this is serving as a pediment for that Christmas tree. This stuffed Christmas tree was made many, many years ago by a dear, dear friend of mine. She was, gosh, 15 years older than myself. She kind of helped mother me when I was away at school and far from home and didn't go home very often. And she made this for me, and sadly she passed right around the time Johnny was born. But it makes me think of her. Her name was Mo Haney, and she was a dear, dear friend of mine. So that has that has special significance to me. And then I've got just, you know, kind of more traditional candies in here. I've got more amaryllis in this kind of little amaryllis forest. And this I have just mulched with all sorts of different twigs. And I've got some, you know, some little felt reindeer in here that are just standing guard, looking up. I love the ornaments where the faces have real personality and like they're doing something, like they're looking up at the North Star or something, or looking up into the sky for Santa to arrive. The bookshelves are just pretty much colorful inherently on their own, and I've got a few more trees and things over here. The Santa in the frame, that was needle pointed by my friend Deborah, aka the most competent person on the planet. The Nutcracker of me was made by a follower, and that was a gift that I got last year, and it's very, very fun. So that's kind of just what's going on in here. I've got a little bit more cleanup to do, but I've also got about 3 more hours. So I think I'll be able to do that. But what do you say, Stuart? Let's take a break here. We can then go through the hall and back out into the back part of the house. I mentioned to you that because the house is on the Mesta Park holiday tour this weekend, and we are just getting ready to start. It's a 2-day event. It was yesterday and it's today from 1 to 5. And during that period, my husband and I and my son Johnny, we all stayed at the Skirvin so we wouldn't mess up anything here at the cottage. And it was a real treat for us. The Skirvin is absolutely incredible. It is the Grand Dome Hotel of downtown Oklahoma City. It was refurbished a number of years ago, and it's absolutely incredible. And I thought you might enjoy just seeing a few snippets of this historic place in downtown Oklahoma City. Enjoy. Here's the entrance. Aren't these charming? Before I leave, I want to show you the dining room. The artwork here is just fabulous. It has just such a wonderful vibe. The choice, I mean, just look at the material on these chairs. And then in the windows over here, they have tables that are chessboards. The tile work, the scroll work on all of the molding. I guess I love it because it's just reminiscent of like the vintage of my neighborhood, 1930s, 1940s. This was where all the dignitaries would stay. Well, this is a part of the house that I don't show a lot, but nevertheless, it has a few holiday touches, starting with the laundry room. You guys have seen this before. This is the one that I kind of retrofitted with some cabinetry, and I've not a lot going on in here. Just a little holiday touch with a Christmas tree, and I think the colors of the frames in and of themselves.
Love those little lamps.
I know, yes, those little battery operated. I know, they're just wonderful.
Classy as well.
Yes. Yes, and the motion activated. I've got one up here. You'll see that what I'm doing for the tour is these lights, they can go. I'm not holding my
versions of the same ones from before?
I'm not holding my mouth right. Yes, these are shorter versions, but I have them typically on sensor motion, but for the tour, I'm putting them on constant illumination. That way it'll give a little bit more light, and I can maybe not have to have the overhead light on. So then the lighting is a little bit more, it has a little bit more ambiance. So here is the master bedroom, and I mean, what do you do with a great big old treadmill that you've got in the middle of your guest bedroom and you can't move it? So you just light it up. You know, you just light it up, and maybe that'll inspire you to get on it a little bit more. If it's got some fun Christmas lights on it, And mostly this room just had to be kind of decluttered a little bit. This is where Hubs stores all of his clothes. It's his closet. It's where all of his special things are. A lot of his family mementos. It's where Stuart steals the guitar. You've got it turned backwards though, Stuart.
I'm telling you, it's safer.
It is safer?
It's better for care of guitar, yes.
Okay, well, see, okay. So that's what we've learned today. That's what we've learned today. If you stand here, Stuart, you can get a peek out. We're not going to show it today, but you can get a peek out into the backyard.
Ooh, I see red.
Yeah, you see red, some wreaths, pillows, and there will be a fire that will be lit before too long. And then, as always, I have more greenery hanging from these wonderful battery-operated portrait lamps. These are the best thing since sliced bread.
The greenery really does just add so much.
It really does. It adds so much. It's my favorite thing. Like I say, if I did nothing else, I would do that. And I would also hang, I love these cheap little Santa hats. I add bells to them, and I love to just hang them in places where I hang my hat, because it's significant that Santa will arrive pretty soon. And I do think it's pretty festive back here, if I do say so myself. It's pretty cozy. The bar is set. I've got a few goodies to put out. There are wreaths and lights. I'm going to turn up the fire a little bit on the fireplace.
I'm getting to you, but I found something else to show.
You saw, oh, what's that?
Frosty.
Oh, yes, isn't that cute? I think maybe one of my kids made that. I can't remember. Isn't it funny how
Cool, yeah.
you think you'll always remember something? And then, because this room has kind of a Southwest vibe to it, Southwest meets Africa, meets Oklahoma, then that's kind of the aura of this room. Okay, this is an idea. The horns overhead. This is where I see something, I tear out the sheet, and I keep it in the location near where the idea is to be executed. So this is my inspiration sheet for that. And I just did my own interpretation of it. So instead of baubles, I have pine cones, which kind of match, I guess, the outdoorsy vibe. I do have another string of lights to put on. I don't know if I'll get those on today or not. I wanted that to just look old-fashioned and simple. Later in the season, I might add things for the birds.
It's a cardinal on top.
It's a cardinal on top of this second little Christmas tree, and you can see that this tells a story. Santa has climbed up and is putting garland on it and is lighting the Christmas tree. And it is all ornaments that are soft goods ornaments. There are mittens and hats and gnomes and gloves and sweaters and things like that, which is kind of fun. And then, of course, the little popsicle reindeers that my kids made in kindergarten. And then the cheeriest thing and the most festive thing, I think, is to just have a fire in the fireplace and Christmas music on. And I can barely hear it in here, Stuart. There you go. Jazzy Christmas music.
Look at the size of these pine cones.
Those are sugar pine cones. And you can buy them now. These actually, I harvested from a friend's underneath a sugar pine tree. There's hardly any left now in the area, and that was from Lake Tahoe. And on her property, I brought back lots of those sugar pine cones, and I've had those for years, and they're one of my favorite things. I think one of Stuart's favorite things is the Merry Christmas old-fashioned banner.
It's such an old vibe.
And I got this, you'll ask me where I got it. Years ago, I got it at A Date with Iris, the florist on Western here in Oklahoma City. And it's just artificial garland on the mantle because real garland dries out so quickly. The real greens that I do have hanging, all of the outdoor wreaths, the boxwood wreaths, any fresh greenery that I've got, for the most part, I did submerge and hydrate it in a water bath for over 24 hours, so it will stay as fresh as possible for as long as possible. This is kind of, my homage, I guess, to Ralph Lauren. The plaid, the pine cones, more just gold ornaments. And then, of course, the pine cones, which is the element that is repeated throughout this space. And then there's just there are things that just mean something to me and my family. Our love of Africa. So we've got elephants on the Great Wall. We have lots of maps. We've got images from when we went to Africa, and even there's a little lion up there. There's just a little fun. I think it's fun to decorate your house with little surprises so that when people come through, they don't just see, oh, the floristy kind of things, but they see, as I said, the little stories that you create throughout your home that make it special. So another example of that is in the gift wrap over here. This is kind of Africa-inspired gift wrap, and I've used little picks. See the little giraffe?
Oh, I didn't at first. Hold on. I was looking at the wrapping paper.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
The little giraffe and rhinos. I've got hippos. Oh, yeah, and I just picked that up. That wasn't even intentional. Okay, Stuart, I told you that yours was one of the first gifts that I wrapped. This one has a little giraffe on it. These are just little picks. And boy, this is an idea I'm going to replicate because they stay in there, they hold on the tags.
You could do this with things every season, every
oh, yes, yes. It's just really, really fun. And I like all of my gift wrapping to coordinate because I'm kind of just fastidious that way. So it typically has a color theme. It's got a thematic to it, like this is an African thematic. And so it just makes it fun. And it's not only significant to me, but it's kind of significant to my kids because they recognize the meaning behind it. Stuart, if you want to just kind of torque and you can kind of show the outside, that is not going to be, that is not going to be part of the tour today. Because I am kind of running out of time, and we will show that to you later. There's more than enough time. But you can get kind of a glimpse of what's going on out there. It is kind of staged and it's kind of cozy, but remember, this is still a home that's a work in progress. So I've got lots of better boxwoods out there that are waiting to be planted. I've got some other things that just haven't gotten in the ground yet, though we did get 99% of the tulips in the ground. And then lastly, are a couple of the stockings. These are the stockings where I actually really stuff them with the things for my kiddos. So I needle pointed this for my son Johnny. Gosh, many.
Taking a while.
Yeah, it took quite a while, and in fact, I finished it. This is embarrassing. I started making this for Johnny. And I finished it when I was in the hospital pregnant with Jamie.
I was about to say.
Not to give birth, but I got really sick in the first part of the pregnancy and I had to be hospitalized. And I can remember stitching this with an IV.
Oh my goodness.
In my hand. And then this one is Mom's.
It's got a mom vibe.
It's got a mom vibe. This one, I love this one. This one is Jamie's. And he's had this one for years. His Aunt Susa gave him this one.
It's very unique.
Yeah, it's very unique. And then Hubs is still MIA. I'm not sure where his stocking is. I've got to find that. But I have enough stockings to fill all around the place. In one room or another that I can fill with lots of goodies. I love the vantage point. So if you're coming in this door, I love that you see the fire going and the candles on the mantle and the Merry Christmas banner. And then if you are a family member and you're coming in the back door, you can immediately walk up and you can make yourself a cocktail. Later we might have some spiked eggnog here. And it's just all about creating the warmth, the hospitality, and a Christmas vibe. So I hope you have enjoyed this tour today. I hope you have gotten just a few ideas that you might be able to translate into the vernacular of your own home, your own style, your own traditions, your own family preferences, because I think there's just not too many times of year that we can really go all out, and I think it's fun to do that, and I am happy to do it for my neighborhood. Yes, it is a fundraiser holiday tour that will benefit the public spaces in my neighborhood, and I am always happy to do that. More importantly, I'm just happy to be a part of this neighborhood now. So you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you for hanging out with me, and have a good one.